Welcome, Star Wars fans. Here we talk about all things Star Wars with rumors, facts, news, and random shenanigans. Get ready and strap into your Millennium Falcon. This is the Force Choke Podcast. Hi, everybody, and welcome to episode 65 of the Force Choke Podcast. This is your counsel here. I'm Sarah.
I'm Micah.
And I'm Lewis. Who's that?
This is Lando.
Who's Lando? He's a blob.
That's mean.
Blob, Lando.
Blob the blob
Lando.
Lando. Nice.
So,
He's my co-captain. That's right, Lando. You're a co-captain.
Talk to us,
Han
there.
Solo? No, don't go there.
No, does that make you Han Solo? That's what y'all should be for Halloween.
I like it.
Yes. So for today, okay. We have new stickers. That's new. Oh, I still see you. Hi guys. Go.
Hey, how's it going?
And we're gonna talk about some news, like Mandalorian. Oh wait, no, crap. And we're sticker swapping with other podcasts.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Handle very
So
well.
DMS,
I'm sorry.
DMS, IMS, whatever you want to call it. Right? Huh?
PMS?
PM, private message.
Did you say PMS? I'm like, yeah. Jesus Christ.
Sticker swaps. So, Lewis, you
So-
have a sticker from another
I have a sticker.
podcast?
Yeah, that's right here.
But somebody else's?
Oh, yeah. So, but first, what episode is this?
65.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay. So we got some stickers in the mail from a sticker swap. Let me open this up. This is from Jessica Browning from La Jolla Society.
Oh.
They sent us a letter too, it looks like. Okay, cool.
Lewis got his first love letter.
Aww. It says, happy stickering. Hashtag Texas Podcast.
Oh, sweet.
Cool.
Jesse.
Awesome.
Nice.
Thank you, Jesse.
So, prickly and blooming. What is that?
Is it a blue bonnet?
La Jolla Society.
Nice.
Oh my goodness. That's cool.
So we got a few of them here.
That was
Yeah.
perfect timing. I heard someone's dog right when the sticker reveal. I'm like, they approve.
Yeah, right.
Yes.
And then I
Yes.
guess this
Anakin
is
likes it.
their logo or right there.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's cool.
Yeah, so
So they talk about cactuses?
I believe so, yeah.
I think
Uh,
it's cacti.
They're located here in San Angelo, Texas, or
Ooh.
Corpus Christi, Texas, so not too far off.
No. That's awesome.
Yeah, so we'll give them some props here. Maybe
So
after the
should-
podcast too.
Should we
on
discuss the
Instagram.
elephant in the room? Why do we look like instead of together?
That we're Skyping?
Yes.
Oh yeah, let's do that.
Why is
we-
Gamora?
Because she's Ahsoka. Oh my God, be careful. Okay.
She.
Well, don't go. Sorry. Go!
Focus. So we're here because COVID-19.
Mm-hmm.
Not COVID 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 or 7.
You're gonna go all the way to 19?
Not 8 or 9
No,
or
no,
10,
none of
11 or
those.
12.
How
No.
about COVID X1X or XIX?
There you go.
Okay. Sure.
Right. So we have to keep distancing, social distance, whatever that is.
Sorry.
Kickoff. That's it.
No, I got really excited. Story time. Story time. So I ordered pizza last night after work, and I got a sticker from House of Rock, Corpus Christi. I still have the bag.
What is it?
Maybe. Nope, it's blurry. I went to I got takeout from House of Rock last night,
Oh,
and they were giving out stickers, and it's like the Loch Ness monster holding a pizza box eating pizza, and
Can I have a
underneath
sticker?
like in the
Oh,
water. No, they only sent one, so you have to order from them. But and I already put it on my record player anyway, so it has social distancing under Nessie, and it was really cute, and it's like House of Rock and everything. Yeah, stickers.
Stickers are fun.
Stickers
Speaking of
are
that,
fun.
If we continue the sticker swap, we need to find a place that we put our stickers. We can display them. I don't know if we should put them on our banner.
I think that would be cool.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Kind of fill it up if we can. That'd be kind of.
And then whenever all of this craziness is over, we'll put it up in the background of our next podcast when we're all together. And
yeah. Hey, that's a really good idea. Very good.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. Maybe I might set something like that up today. Take a picture of it and put it on Instagram and Facebook, something like that.
I heard that you're talking in a certain way as if like you're gonna talk shit to me again. But like how I'll come up with an idea and you give it to somebody else. It sounded exactly the same way when you just gave it to Sarah. I'm just I didn't suggest that this time.
What?
Lewis knows what I'm talking about. That's why he's grinning.
I know what you're talking about too, but let it be known this was my idea.
That's
it was partially Lewis's.
Video evidence.
Partially.
No.
You know, it's funny because of everybody that's on our podcast council,
here it comes.
Sarah has come up with some amazing ideas.
Thank you, Lewis. I agree.
Another one.
Yeah.
For Sarah. All right. Well, why don't we start talking about Star Wars? You know, we got we can dispense with the pleasantries.
Yes. and the horrible, scary, cringy intros.
And talk about Star Wars, right? So episode 65. Why don't we start it off with, I don't know if you guys been keeping up with the Clone Wars with everything COVID happening right now. How about you, Micah? If not, we can go to.
No, I have.
You have? So have I.
I
Sarah hasn't.
No.
I didn't. Yeah.
Terrible Star Wars fan. We get it.
I'm horrible. I know. But
So
you know what?
Update me then. Update me because y'all have been up to date on it. So.
Okay, I guess I'm about to get in trouble with a lot of people. Whatever. I like the first few episodes because they're all contingent around finding Echo. Spoiler alert.
Been missing.
We're talking about Clone Wars, yeah?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, but now they've evolved into a story surrounding Ahsoka.
Which you think would be amazing, right? Everybody loves it.
Yeah, that sounds great. No, like I instantly smiled.
I thought it would be amazing, but that's why I felt like I'm about to get in trouble because it's like when you have a main story a story for a season, you know, you had the main thread, you know, season's 24 episodes, but naturally half of those are probably gonna be like filler episodes.
Mm-hmm.
Ahsoka's story feels nothing to me but a filler episode. That's just now, with the exception of towards the very ending of this last one, that just premiered like this morning, like at 2 a.m. or whatever. Like you kind of feel like, okay, I kind of understand where it's going, maybe, but it's like they just established like 3 or 4 episodes around this, and then the next one presumably I think will still be with her, and I'm just like,
it feels like a morality tale.
Oh
yeah, right. Kind of, but still, it just seems like, okay, these, you know, the last season that we had of the Clone Wars were the lost episode because they killed it, right? They stopped it midway, and then you have one more season, which will be the final episodes, and it just kind of feels like, yeah, I get the morality story because I know that was one of the kind of I would call it like one of the cute things that Clone Wars was kind of able to do through the series and stuff because it's only 30 minutes. Kids are probably watching it, probably other people watching it. You're still getting story, you're getting new characters, you get morality tale almost out of it. But now it's just kind of like you have, you know, very, very limited episodes. Let us see the new content. Let's see where how it's relevant to Star Wars, especially since bringing it back to life after it was already nixed away. And I just feel like we're kind of really not getting that. Maybe I'm just being that person. Maybe I'm being an asshole. Maybe we can get a shitload of hate mail because of that. But I just kind of feel like you have, again, these finite amount of episodes, and it's just kind of like, I don't think it should be the same course. It shouldn't be business as usual with something.
Yeah.
You only have a couple episodes left. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay, so just to catch Sarah up, in this portion of the episode or the series, which has been now spanning 3 episodes, this is pretty much the gist of it. Ahsoka is on a speeder bike over Coruscant. Her speeder bike putters out. She nosedives into what looks like a pit, but in this pit is part of the city that goes into the infrastructure of the world itself, right?
You're talking about the Coruscant,
like,
right?
Yeah, and it's like cavernous, but it's actually like part of the city itself. She goes down all the way down to level 1313, which is actually a harkening back to a video game that was nixed by Disney when they purchased the Lucasfilm and all that, and Star Wars. She meets up with 2 sisters. They decide to help her out. Then a whole bunch of other stuff happens, and then they get into trouble. They go through to the mines on Kessel to do some shipment of spice. Ahsoka's like, this is bad. Some of the girls are like, no, we need money. And so they turn into prisoners. Oh my gosh, there's a light here. Y'all hear that?
No.
No, okay. And so
Sarah's mic again.
Oh, and
I didn't do anything.
Were you breathing?
Shut
there
up.
it is.
All right, go ahead.
So they get captured by the Pikes because they dumped their shipment of spice, and now they're on the run. And that's pretty much been like 3 or 4 episodes. All that I just described to you happened over 3 episodes. So I think over an hour now has been just exactly what I explained to you.
Yeah.
And it feels, I think, like Micah said, it feels like maybe slow, right? So I don't know if slow pacing is the word for it, but that's kind of how it feels. After the episode is over, you're like, wow, they could have put more into that.
Yeah.
Or made it move quicker.
I'm just kind of remembering too, because like right when we saw that they're doing the story of Echo, right? Like right from the beginning, we're like, why wouldn't you start off with Ahsoka? Like, I feel like we're being those fans now because it's like we get that, but it's like, why'd you do that? Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not infallible. I understand, but it just kind of seems like, I don't know. Go ahead. I just want to get that across because I remember us talking about you have Ahsoka in the trailers. Why don't you have Ahsoka? And it's like we're getting Ahsoka. It's like, why are you wasting this time with us with that kind of story?
God.
I wonder how they're going to finish this off. If the ending of all this is spectacular, like it was for Rebels, I don't think any of this is going to matter. You're going to look back and be like, they were all right episodes. You know what I mean? We got some of the clone stuff in there. We got a little bit of Ahsoka in there. I'm assuming this is going to end up where Ahsoka meets up with Anakin, and that'll be our finale somehow.
Oh, that's a bit in the future because when that happens, you're talking about still as Anakin, not Darth Vader.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, see, that's the thing is because I also had heard too is that there'll be a point where because I think they're supposed to inside the show itself, they're going to get to the point where there's already the purging. Order 66 has already happened. At least I thought that's what I heard. And it just kind of seems like they'll be able to go pretty deep into the show. Like, actually, after the events of Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith happens, like, it'll actually go, technically speaking, into the chronology of the movie. Like, past that. And I'm just kind of like, where is it? What's going on? I don't see this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because when you saw, even then, I think it was Episode 3, when you saw Anakin, he's about to go with Rex to go get Echo. And the Bad Batch, like he has a hologram and he's talking to Padme, and she's visibly pregnant at the time. So it's like, she wasn't necessarily like that in the beginning of episode 3, the movie.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of like, where the hell is this going? It just, again, I just kind of come to the point, and I know maybe I'm being that fan right now, but I'm just like, you bring this back for a reason after the show had been killed off. Let us see something we hadn't yet seen before, some justification, some reasoning as to all the madness. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
give me a reason why the show came back and what purpose it's supposed to serve. Because we've already seen Ahsoka come back with Clone War, with Rebels, like, and some major things that happened in her fight with Darth Maul and stuff. And even then, Darth Maul is supposed to be happening in Clone Wars too. Because do we know how many episodes there's supposed to be? Because I thought it was supposed to be a limited amount.
I think 12.
Even more so than a regular season.
I think 12 to 13, somewhere in there, is what the rumor that I heard. Official rumor.
Well, then they better get on it, because what are we going into, like episode 7 next week?
I think 7 or 8, somewhere around there. Yeah.
Which means like they have to be on the ball.
Yeah.
I don't know.
True.
That's just my thought. Maybe I'm finally being that fan. Like, give me this. No, that's not what I meant. You know, like, all right, whatever.
We gave it to you, but that's not how I wanted it presented.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Well, you know, when Sarah gets around to it, maybe she can let us know how she feels about how the series feels, the pacing and the storytelling, like that.
Yeah.
I think Dave Filoni wrote all of this, right?
I think so. I'm sure he got help from someone. I'm sure he also got help from Lucas, because I know, of course, they're plastering his name on the credits, as they should. But I know his name's been on the credits too. But I know this has more so been, like what you said, Louis, like a pet project, if you will, of Filoni.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe my expectations were too high. I don't know.
Yeah, let's see how it ends. Maybe they give us something that just blows our mind. You never know. You know what I mean? I wasn't expecting much from the Rebels series finale, and I was blown away by it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true. They did introduce a lot of crazy stuff.
Yeah. Just
in the last, 2, maybe 3 episodes?
Yeah, exactly. Like,
whoa, where did this shit come from?
And what do you guys, kind of moving along to the next topic, the future of Disney without Bob Iger. So the last time we met up to now, Bob Iger's taken over Disney Plus and given up his presidency of our CEO, right?
CEO ship.
Yeah, there you go. Of Disney. So how do y'all feel about the future of Disney moving forward? I mean, right after he stepped down, Disney stocks plummeted. The coronavirus thing happened. Right?
All of
everything started shutting
everything
down.
hit the fan.
Yeah, exactly.
So we're saying, are we talking about the United States, where the global economic crisis is all relevant to Bob Iger stepping down? Is this what you're saying, Louis?
I think he saw it coming.
No.
And mind you, that would be a really awesome move if he did see this and said, you know what, I'll see what I can do with Disney Plus, because with the COVID around the corner, people are going to need more entertainment at home. And he came from ABC television, which is his strong suit. So maybe this was a genius move by him. I don't know. What do y'all think?
Micah?
Sir? Okay, fine. I was like, okay, fine. I was trying to be political or diplomatic about it.
Polite?
So, I don't like the word polite. Anyway, I don't feel like it's necessarily relevant to that. I mean, it's ironic, the timing. But then again, like, wasn't he like the 15th of one of these huge CEOs that have stepped down since the beginning of the new year? Maybe it was just a fiscal year kind of thing. I don't know. But it is interesting to see. I didn't realize, and this is me, I didn't realize that he was sticking around for the Disney Plus. And if that's the case, maybe he just wanted to back up, from it. I'm sure being at the top, king of the hill, heavy lies the crown kind of thing. And so if he's just taking care of Disney Plus, then maybe that's more of his forte. Maybe that's more of like his passion kind of thing. But that would be a very interesting point, as you said, Louis, because with everything going on, it seems that, they've been pushing movies that were only in the theaters for like a week or two to buy and to now rent. And now even some of these shows, it's like, how do they, how do we get this out? I mean, it's MCU, but they're even talking about Black Widow. I don't necessarily think it's going to happen, but what are they going to do with Black Widow? It's supposed to come out May 1. And if this thing prolongs the way some doctors or an epidemiologist suggest, it's like, what do they do? Do they backlog everything, or do they release that early? So it would be interesting seeing him take that reins and the decisions he's going to make, because it's almost as if this is like a lifeboat for Disney. It's like, look at what we're able to do despite not being able to get you to the theaters, because that's a lot of damn money that they're going to be losing just simply by not being able to go to the box office, or even for 6 months, because these huge companies, they're going to make the money and they can still last, but it's like money they're depending on. So who's to say that it doesn't mess this up or that up? Well, we're seeing lesser companies, just trying to survive.
Yeah. And before Sarah kind of chimes in, Aiden Bertola, which was our guest on the last episode, I asked him, do you have any, future projects that you're working on or going to be coming out soon? And he said that he had a film that was going to come out in theaters in, I think, May or June, and he said he doesn't know when that's going to get pushed back to now. So a lot of people are being affected by that. But what do you think, Sarah, about Bob Iger stepping down, taking over Disney Plus and leaving that void there for a little bit?
I don't know. I think so. With him taking over Disney Plus, I think Disney Plus is gonna, because how we all joked about, okay, I'll get Disney Plus for The Mandalorian and then I'll cancel it, or I'll get it if somebody gives me their password. But I don't know. I think with him taking over that, it's gonna blow up. Because I mean, they released that one movie. I think they're releasing it today. It's like Onward or something. They're releasing it on Disney Plus because they're not going to push it back. They're going to release it. Yeah. So people can watch it. And there's tons of kids at home without school, and school being out probably until the fall. They're going to make a lot of money on Disney Plus.
Yeah, and Disney Plus right now is what, like, let's say you just get Disney Plus on its own, $7 a month. Let's say you were to have bought Onward at regular price, let's say $20. I mean, you get Disney Plus, so you'll get Onward for $6. For in 4 months, you would have Disney Plus is what you would have bought the movie for. So it's like a really great deal, plus all the other content, So. Maybe he'll turn that into Disney Gold. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I think so. I honestly think so. And maybe they'll do like pay-per-view type of stuff where if you pay like for Black Widow, right? If you pay this amount, you'll get special features, you'll get interviews, you'll get this, and that, like all the background stuff, the extras.
So you
or
mean
if you
like
pay more, you can get it early.
It would be Disney Plus.
Yeah, double plus. Okay. Yeah, plus one. I don't know.
Isn't that plus squared?
What?
Disney 2 plus? Disney squared?
Disney
plus squared?
Yeah.
I'm kidding. Well, and I think it's really interesting is because, they have an opportunity to do something great and keep their fans and keep them spending money. Obviously, it won't be as much as they're going to get, but they also can't botch it too. And the reason I mention that is because some of those films that had only been in the theaters for a few weeks going to be able to buy / rent. I think I never got the chance to see the movie, but I remember when it first happened, the movie Invisible Man supposedly was doing really good in theaters.
It was really good. Sandy and I watched it.
Well, thanks for the invite, loser.
Yeah, it was awesome. You missed that.
But yeah, right. But it's like when those go, and don't get me wrong, I know it's 3, 4 to 6 months before the release date. You're able to buy it digitally, but a lot of times they're usually like $19.99. Well, I was curious because I heard it was being released super early because of everything going on. I go to check, it was $19.99 only with the rent option. I'm like,
oh wow.
Kiss my.
Dang.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And don't get me wrong, like I know it's like how do you recoup your money kind of thing? Because
Right.
think like say us as Star Wars fans, let's just say there's a Star Wars movie supposed to be coming out in May. We're gonna see it probably multiple times, but let's just say once.
Yeah.
We're gonna see it at least once,
Mhm.
so that ticket's gonna
Mhm.
be $10-$15, right? And then we're probably gonna buy it, and then we would have gotten it through the subscription service. So the
Yeah.
money they're essentially getting, even if for only one viewing, they're essentially cutting that to 33% of their initial amount that they were gonna get.
Yeah.
So I get trying to say, hey, if you want to watch it early, pay us $20. But
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
I already like know that they're going to be pushing this out soon, and it's going to cost me $20 to buy it, I'm like, that you're going to piss me off, though. You know, it's
Yeah.
like if I just wait another month, you're going to be selling at this price anyway. So why would I give you extra money just to view, it? Even if it's at home?
Because people are at home bored.
Yeah.
I get that, but eventually they're going to turn around and release it for the same price.
You know what it almost feels like? What
And
you
it
just
just-
mentioned, Micah. What it feels like is when you go to any stadium to watch a professional game or a concert, and they're like, "Okay, your soda, 20-ounce soda is going to be $18.95 because they have you there, and that's what you have to pay." That's almost what it sounds like. You know, how else are you going to get it right now? Which is kind of
maybe it's comparable, but I understand what you're saying.
Yeah. Well, right.
No.
Oh, go ahead.
No. I understand what you mean.
Yeah. So I'm curious. We talked a little bit about Bob Iger. So and we're going to touch a little bit on something that we've talked about in the past, but maybe we can just burn through it real quick. Just want to get your guys' thoughts. Without Bob Iger, is there Kathleen Kennedy? And without Kathleen Kennedy, is there Ryan Johnson? Sarah, what do you think? Bob Iger steps down. Kathleen Kennedy,
I know.
Does she stick around?
How long's her contract for? Didn't she sign another one?
No, 2021 it's up.
Oh.
So I think in January 2021.
Maybe this is a changing the old guards to the new elites kind of thing.
Yeah. Like they're just getting rid of everybody. I don't know. I honestly don't know. Maybe not.
What do you think?
Micah.
What do you think, Micah? What do you think, Micah?
I don't know. It seems with Iger bouncing out. That's kind of what I meant, like the changing of the old guard.
Yeah.
Because it's not to say that Iger was keeping Kennedy there or Kennedy was only there because of Iger kind of thing. I don't know that relationship, but it just kind of makes it seem like, with the MCU ending at where it did, with Star Wars essentially finishing up where it did before all this mess, it's just like a new age kind of thing, especially for Star Wars, because it's like, okay, you had the new sequel or the sequel trilogy was still that same Skywalker lineage and stuff, and if they're moving something forward to something new, it's like it's almost demands a new face to it, a new vision of it. So let's get rid of the past and bring Kylo Ren,
Kylo Ren.
kill it
if you have to.
So maybe this is a perfect, changing of the guard type moment. Like Iger's gone, now Kennedy needs to go, and this is time for the people who grew up with this stuff and loved it, from day one. Not in a directorial sense, but now they get the chance to take the reins and march this thing forward and see what that does for everyone.
So do you think the High Republic is somewhat of a baton for this new blood that you think that's coming in to direct and storytell? And is the High Republic meeting your expectations and what you've seen so far with pictures and I guess advertising, whatever the case might be?
God damn it! I hope not. This is kind of that is really kind of worrying me when I first heard about it.
Worrying?
When I first heard about it, I'm like, oh,
wait, Micah. You said it's warning you or worrying you?
Worrying me.
Like, okay.
Oh my God, I'm so worried.
Oh
my God! Please don't tell me no.
Oh my God.
Because okay, when I first heard about it, I'm like, okay, Lando, stop, buddy, come on. When I first heard, I'm like, okay, cool, new story, whatever, fine. And then it's like, oh, well, technically, it's only supposed to be the comics, right? Like a comic book story kind of thing. But it's just when you start to really delve into it, there's a lot of similarities, if you will, kind of like with the Knights of the Old Republic and stuff. And so that it's almost like, are you rehashing this thing to be Knights of the Old Republic, but for canon? And that's what I mean by warning, is because those stories are great and have, I think, kind of added to the depth of the fandom, if you will. For you to turn around and try to say you're moving forward into your new inspiration by ripping off another one,
yeah,
it just kind of seems like a backhand to, you know, I don't want to say the older fans, but the fans from the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't want to just simply, you know, yeah, I know you want to bring a new fan base and everything and whatnot, but it's just like, if you want a new story, make a new story. Don't do that at the cost of, you know, potentially the fans, the older stories that you could still pull from that people will actually love, despite that they're not technically canon anymore. It's just, again, it's just my thought. Maybe I'm overreacting to it, but I just saw that and I was kind of like, all right, hold on now. What are you doing with this?
Yeah, Sarah, how about you? Have you seen any of the pictures or comments or short?
I was reading an article earlier and I saw a lot of the covers that they had, and it looked kind of like it's aimed towards kids. Like, and I know a lot of this stuff is aimed towards kids, but still, like, it could be made like less basic two-dimensional cartoony, you know what I'm trying to say, and more like actual comic book.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you see what I'm saying? Like classic comic book style versus like, oh, this is, you know, a comic adaptation of a show that you've already seen, you know?
Yeah.
Like, it kind of made it look like that. And I agree with Micah. Like, it feels like this stuff is, and I haven't read The Knights of the Old Republic, but I know my stepdad has, and it kind of seems like a little recycled.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
So if anything at all, guys, does anything actually excite you about this High Republic that they're bringing up? Because, you know, we can tear it down as much as we want to, or say this is a rehash of something else, or they want to replace a different era with this. Is there anything at all that excites you about this High Republic that you've seen? When we've only seen a little bit, you know what I mean? But is there anything that excites you about it?
I hope there'll be like new, different content than what's already been produced.
Mm-hmm. I
new
think
stories,
we might
characters.
see Yoda as a younger version, because this happens like 400 or 500 years in the past, which would make him what, like 300 or 400 years old, somewhere around there. I bet you we'll see him.
Oh, fuck me, man.
Is this
okay?
Micah, talk to me. You're having a stroke over there. It's okay, man.
I'm just really hoping this isn't Star Wars and Disney being hooters trying to make money. And the reason I say that is because Baby Yoda, the Mandalorian, everyone is flipping their shit. Oh my God, Baby Yoda, protect him at all costs, kind of thing. And then if you're gonna tell me we're gonna get a younger version of actual Yoda,
like teenage Yoda,
and is that gonna be
rebellious Yoda?
Well, I mean, sure, but I mean, like, is that gonna be to remarket it? You know, kind of like, love our new stuff. It might be recycled, but you get a younger version of Yoda. Who doesn't want that?
Less wrinkles.
Yeah. So I'm just kind of like, come on, is this your angle? You know what I mean? Like, is this what you're gonna do? Like, just give us something that one singular thing that everyone can just group together on, despite the story. You know, maybe the story being subpar or average. Like it being recycled material. Let's just give you one thing that you can merchandise the living shit out of. And this is what's going to cause you to love the new wave, the new, you know, the new beginning of Star Wars Disney. It's like when you said young Yoda, I'm just like, oh.
Because it's the right time frame, right?
Well, it's the right time frame if they want a bunch of money, considering they're bleeding it right now. with the market and everything.
Yeah. And so let's say that they had gone in a different way. Let's say not a high Republic era, but maybe something just totally split off differently. Maybe like a one shot movie of like and I think Robert Segal brought it up where there was a almost like a zombie apocalypse kind of thing that happened in a certain section of the galaxy in Star Wars that they were trying to contain. Would you have appreciated something like that more? Or because High Republic, it's new, but it's not new. This would be a retelling of a story already said, which is kind of exciting. Or did y'all want something just totally different?
I'll let Sarah go first, since I usually.
I know that's a tough question. That's a tough question.
I think zombies are overplayed a little bit right now.
Mm-hmm.
Still, because of The Walking Dead and Zombieland and all that stuff.
I said that on kind of like a not necessarily had to be zombies, but just something that's kind of
something just like off the wall, completely crazy.
Or in the repertoire already. You know what I mean? Like maybe they took they took one of their video games and said, okay, we're gonna make a movie out of this, or something that they already have in their back pocket.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Something like that. Something familiar, I guess.
I don't know. Sorry.
It's a tough question. It is a tough question. Well, maybe I'll go first.
Okay,
I think
yes, go first.
I think maybe if
hold on, he can answer his own question. This is weird.
I'm gonna answer my own question. maybe if they would have gone off something like a spin-off of what they finished off with Han Solo, and did a like a what was Darth Maul's group there? Do you remember?
I don't remember.
Crimson Dawn.
Crimson Dawn. Maybe they could have done something like that.
That would be cool.
Crimson Dawn, a Star Wars story, something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To get some of the more backstory there, Han Solo could have come out in it. Kira could have come out in it. You know what I mean? We get a little bit more, maybe like bounty hunters and the Night Sisters, something like that. I think something like that. I think core fans would have really enjoyed, and I think fans that are like, there you go, appreciate it, and then other fans who are like, oh, why do we need to see this? You're going to get some of those, but I think for the most part, I think fans would have enjoyed something like that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. What about you, Mike? I answered that question, but for myself,
I think it'd be it would definitely be a new and interesting opportunity. I'll try to address your question specifically, but it reminds me of something we talked about, Louis. Like, let's say if they were trying to bring back, KOTOR, Knights of the Old Republic, to this day and age, to Disney. If you wanted to keep it as Legends, you could have something cool. Like, you could see almost as if it was like a campfire story, like maybe a Jedi Master talking to his Padawan, and being like, let me tell you the story of Darth Bane or something. They're sitting by a campfire story, and through that movie, it illuminates the story of the lineage of Darth Bane, or even Darth Revan for that matter. You could almost have stories like that. So it's Legends inside of canon. So it's able to reprise these things while fitting that. And I think that would be a wonderful idea. I think you mentioned that to me first. And I was kind of thinking of something similar. You could introduce something nuanced like that, like a new story. Like, what if you had someone or, telling just regular campfire stories about, what if the Jedi had to fight off these kind of, mindless beings that you could only just kill them by, whatever, like a classic zombie story.
Star Wars Tall Tales. In a way, right?
Something like that, because it's almost like it introduces them, but it doesn't necessarily have to be real. Yeah. But it almost kind of like it fits the need of, look, if you don't need it to be real, if it pisses you off too much, it's not. It's a friggin' story.
Yeah.
But it's also
you can make it like a Legends series, like Star Wars Legends, and just leave it like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's something to appreciate, but it not necessarily be part of it if that's the case. Because I do agree with you, Sarah, too. Is I almost think the zombie thing is well overplayed at this point.
Mhm.
Not to say that you can't still have good stories around it, but you can't. I don't think it's something you want to tip your hat on, and that could be
Yeah.
said for other. It's like it almost seems as if now superheroes are overplayed. Yeah, I know we're talking about Star Wars, but if you wanted just to try that out, kind of like maybe a MCU what if series, like what if
Yeah.
something happened
Yeah.
and someone became a zombie kind of thing, and like that
Yeah.
be an episode. Like I think and that almost seems like it would tailor to a lot of these singular or even trilogy type series of books that you had that were all deemed legends, part of the expanded universe. It seems like you could get those stories out while it not uh, diminishing too much on whatever this new story going forward will be. Because it's almost like you could continue forward with whatever the new story will be, whether it goes 30 years into the future, 1600 years in the future. So you can have this new Star Wars without it being Skywalker, and have kind of like your offshoot movies. Maybe you could accomplish that, and it's still good enough for almost everyone.
Yeah.
It would be interesting, but I guess it depends upon how you do it and how you phrase it. Because again, now you will have a bunch of, I guess, older fans like, what the hell are you doing with my Star Wars?
This is not my Star Wars.
Well, I mean,
this is not Star Wars.
I think, well, like touching on older fans, like this isn't there's got to be a lot. No. I'm just saying there's got to be a lot of story. There's not enough content. There has to be a lot of stories that, like Lewis, I'm sure you've read books, and it's just one like singular book of something that was really cool. That'd be really cool if this was like a little like mini series or something that.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, there was a book similar to that called Tales of the Bounty Hunter, which is now Legends, and there was literally tales of the story of the 5 bounty hunters that Vader had hired on Empire Strikes Back, Boba Fett, IG-88, Boss, etc., etc. But kind of a backstory to them, how they got there to Vader's ship, and then what happened a little bit after that. You know what I mean? So yeah, I've read offshoot stories like that. And they're wonderful.
I think that would be cool. I think that would be really cool to expand on instead of trying to make new recycled things.
Very good. Very good. So let's move along to the that was funny. Sarah's face. So hey guys, Mandalorian season 2 comes out in October, right? So there's a lot of casting rumors. I even asked Aiden Bertola.
Really?
Yeah, I asked Aiden Bertola, who plays young Din Djarin, on our last podcast, if he would be able to let me know or us know, is he going to be in season 2 of The Mandalorian? And unfortunately, he said that he can't talk about anything on season 2. I don't know if that was a hint or not. But he said,
you're pressing the overthink button.
I'm pressing the overthink button. I'm hoping that he'll be in season 2. That would be interesting to see what his life was as a foundling within the.
I got something for you. Go ahead.
Okay, go.
Well, I mean, okay, yeah, he can't give you an official yes or no for that matter, but he's supposed to be looking for Yoda's people, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Either that, or he has to be kind of accepted now into this into the new Mandalorian type of way. So how, I don't want to say convenient, but how easy would it be for the show for Mandalorian or to try to in the pursuit of looking for Yoda's people or baby Yoda's people or whatever, but also like giving him teachings that he remembers as a child, going through the same thing and being sympathetic to that understanding, and that'd be a real easy way for him to have a flashback of him remember like, how you gonna tell me to do anything, asshole? Like, you're not my parents. My parents are dead, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And like I just feel like that'd be really interesting, like parallels that they could do through the story of him being young versus him kind of almost training up Baby Yoda in the pursuit of finding, you know, Yoda's species people.
Yeah. That would be awesome if they were
So,
able
you know,
to.
I think it'll happen. He will be in there, and that's my wink under the sunglass.
Nice. Well, let's hope that he does make it back. One of the other big casting rumors, and I think it's even still today, people have been talking about it. Still a rumor that Rosario Dawson's going to play Ahsoka in season 2. Haven't seen anything on her Instagram. Haven't seen anything on the
official rumors.
official rumors. Exactly. There's nothing on Instagram for The Mandalorian, nothing on Lucasfilm, nothing. Nobody said yes or no or maybe. It's just a rumor out there. And I don't know who started it or I mean Rosario Dawson, I mean, she hasn't even talked about it. Recently.
Maybe she can't. Yeah.
Possibly.
What do you mean possibly? They got NDAs for everything.
You think they're gonna do that as a big reveal? Because on IMDb, you have all the cast on there.
Well, I mean, rumors are rumors until they're not.
Say that again.
Very true.
You heard what I said. Rumors are rumors until they're not.
I like that.
So having said that, but I think it is interesting because there was a Comic-Con fairly recently that Giancarlo Esposito did where he talks about, and it kind of seemed like when I was hearing it, I was like, are you allowed to say all that? But he talked about like.
Sorry. Thank you.
He had kind of mentioned that looking forward into season 2, that there's like lightsaber battles and stuff. It's like, who's he going to be dueling with?
Yeah.
Who's still there? You know what I mean?
He's going to be dueling with Sarah's coughs.
Sneezes. There's sneezes.
Oh, sorry. Sneezes.
Corona sneeze? I mean,
no, stop. But
the beer disease? No, I'm just kidding. But anyway, but it's like who is he going to be there to fight with? But also too, and I don't know if you have this further along on the topics to cover, Lewis, but we did see Dave Filoni update his banner picture on Twitter with artistic rendering of Ahsoka with presumably Rex on the Lothal wolves.
Yeah.
So it's like, why would he do that, I wonder? Because, and to put into context, before you try to tell me this is for Clone Wars, Rex is of his older age. Shut your mouth.
Yeah. No, he does have the snowball white
but he looks of older age, all right? Yeah. That closer, because we do know they later confirmed that Rex was in fact in episode 6, the movie, Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
That he was one of those troopers that was on.
Played by.
He was one of the rebels. I don't remember.
Oh.
Not the actual movie.
Oh, okay.
But that he was one of the troops on one of the Forest Moon of Endor.
Yeah.
So he's still technically speaking, we know him to be alive, and this is supposed to be just 2-3 years after episode 6 for the Mandalorian. So it's still technically speaking possible.
Yeah, very plausible.
And
highly possible, probable. It's probably more probable than plausible, in my opinion.
Your words, not mine. I mean, yeah, but you know, it just, that would be super awesome if that is the case. Yeah. Because again, like, you know, that he was mentioning in the interview at Comic-Con just a couple weeks ago, or a couple months ago now, that he was having lightsaber battles. I'm like, well, who's he going to be fighting? He has a Darksaber. We haven't seen any other Jedi really esque people on the show, and something tells me if Luke was going to fight him, he's, you know, down without a hitch. So like, who really is left in that time frame?
Yeah. You know, it's interesting about The Mandalorian Season 2. I got some scoop here that co-creator Jon Favreau is actually stepping into the director's chair for at least one episode. So that's good. Actually, I've heard Carl Weathers is going to direct an episode as well.
Dylan! Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. I thought that was kind of interesting. So, I mean, you know, they're putting a lot of effort into this Mandalorian thing, man. from season 1 and season 2. It looks like really interested.
My hopes, though, is just that they're a little bit longer.
Do you think they're going to be?
I hope so.
I think they're a good length.
I don't, because they had no idea. I don't think they had any really good idea what season 1 was going to look like. Were people going to like it? Were people going to appreciate it? Were they going to expecting this? Were they going to be expecting that? And just how well season 1 did.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like there's
why don't you and Sarah have a pizza bet?
Only if she wants to.
Get you a House of Rock sticker.
That what now?
A House of Rock sticker.
That Nestle sticker?
Because.
I think you said you already put it on something. You lied to me.
No, I know, but I will get you pizza from House of Rock so you can get a sticker.
Okay, that's fair.
Okay. Yeah.
And so what do I have to do if I lose?
Any episodes longer than what?
I don't know.
I think the episodes will be like a similar 45-minute, like what it would be on the TV.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like a 45, 50-minute episode. I think they're going to probably get a little bit closer to that. Because now, also this too is, again, they really weren't, can you hear my dog growling?
Yes.
Just a little bit, but I mean, it's not.
He's adding some, like, tension to the conversation. Yes.
It's not distracting. Yeah.
Okay.
You probably hear it more.
It's not distracting in the bit. Jesus Christ, dude. Just how well season 1 did. And they got a lot of stuff they can now go into if they do bring back Ahsoka. But even then, Moff Gideon surviving.
Yeah.
Darksaber. Like, so much they can go into. Even if they kept it at the 8, 9, 10 episode range, or even extend it to 13 episodes, something tells me they could easily make these episodes 45, 50 minutes long, and people are still going to be like, I need more.
It's not enough.
Yeah.
This is where you insert Kylo Ren from The Last Jedi. More.
The reason for the Gamora Cup, because I'm also hoping Zoe Saldana could be Ahsoka too, because I think she'd be really good at it.
Oh yeah, she would.
Yeah, but I hope so.
She's a good actress.
No, because she's doing Avatar 2 and 3 with James Cameron. Sorry.
Yes. There we go.
Well, all right. I guess.
Yeah, I mean, actually, I think she probably could be a good Ahsoka, but ever since I heard about...
great.
No. I'm saying I think she could, but I'm saying ever since I heard about Rosario Dawson years ago, I'm like, I don't know. In my mind, I've never seen anyone.
You can't unsee it. Yeah.
And yes, was it Ashley Eckstein? Like, yes, she has the voice down. But they also, okay, hold on. Now, something they did mention, not necessarily confirming that Rosario Dawson is going to be Ahsoka, and I don't even know if they necessarily confirm Ahsoka being in season 2.
Yeah.
But
they haven't.
But she did come out and say that if there was a season 2, that she would not be voicing them. Kind of like how you had a voice actor over Darth Maul.
Yeah.
Like they did it with episode 1, and then they continued that with the little cutscene. Well, not the cutscene, but the scene that they had in Han Solo. Like they're not going to do that. So whoever, if there is going to be an Ahsoka, and if whomever gets it casted to be Ahsoka, it will be their voice and not hers anyway.
Yeah, I think that's fine.
So I just had, it's just weird, and that's what and the reason I'm adding that is it's weird. All these rumors are coming out that it's supposed to be Rosario Dawson. It's weird that there's still kind of non-committal on confirming that with Lucasfilm, Star Wars, or Disney themselves. But you do have a confirmation coming out about the voice actor saying, no, I'm not doing that. They wouldn't do that. It's like, if there's enough smoke, there's a fire somewhere.
Yeah. So, do y'all want to touch base a little bit? I don't know. Have you read the novelization yet, Micah? Or is that even out yet?
No. It was out. It came out March 17th. I began it. I haven't been able to get too much into it just because going on. The little bit I did do was kind of interesting. It had a little bit more. It was weird. The first thing, the way it opened up, was Rey training in that forest with Leia. There's a little bit more to that conversation. Not too much more, but there's just more to it. And then it went. I hear something. So
Sorry.
like,
That's my
Did you-
chair. No, that's my chair.
Sarah's a
It's chair-
ventriloquist.
Hang on. It'll do it again.
It didn't do it again.
performance issues. Okay. And then
You know what? I didn't
It's
even
a
notice.
shirt.
Sarah has one of our new shirts on, right?
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. I hadn't
Thank-
even noticed that until you kind of started moving around.
Yeah.
That's cool. I'm actually gonna send one of those off to Dominic Pace today or tomorrow.
Oh, cool. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
He'll be
because
nice.
Aiden already has that one, right? The textured
Yes,
one.
he does. Uh-huh.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Um.
So back to the novelization, you said?
Yeah. And then the second part, it kind of goes into Kylo Ren at the very beginning of the film. It goes a little bit more into that, and I thought it was kind of interesting because it's not just him walking over and kicking over this like stone in capture where he pulls out the Wayfinder. He
Mhm.
actually has to go to like this little lake. It's really kind of weird because you have these people protecting, essentially protecting that.
Yeah.
And God damn it, it's been a while. I've kind of forgot. But essentially, I don't think it was necessarily a giant, but a giant. They call it a giant walked out of this lake. So I'm thinking like 7-8 feet tall.
Yeah.
And he was being operated by like a slug or something like that, or a snake or something like that. And like it was like this parasitic / symbiotic relationship. I know that's kind of an oxymoron, but I think that's how they even described it. But it was essentially that this worm was controlling this being, and they're going back and forth and talking about like why he wants the Wayfinder to find Exegol or anything like that.
Interesting.
It's just interesting stuff. Nothing too revelations to speak of because I haven't to get that much into it. But it's just really kind of interesting because even from the novelization versus the movie, like events aren't even happening. Events aren't even happening in the same order because again, it started off with Rey in the forest, not because the movie opened up with Kylo Ren, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, because I think it opened up with him first going to Mustafar to get the Wayfinder, then to Exegol, before it even shows Rey. So that's why I was just like, oh, okay, this is interesting.
Well, maybe when you're able to finish that up, we can talk a little bit more about some of the revelations that happen in
definitely
in the novelization.
Because I've heard whispers, like things that it's almost like, wait, why did the book do this if the movie didn't do this kind of thing?
Yeah.
And I think, and I guess you always kind of have something like that, but that's really why I wanted to read this book, especially because it seemed like there was a lot of more information that could be put into the movie. Again, we know Abrams came in super late. We know the movie is already so long. You don't want to make it that much longer and take away from it.
Yeah.
Silly turd. But hey, but yeah, like as soon as I get back to it,
sweet.
It'll be on video.
So, hey guys, we noticed in all the prequel trilogy that Padme had decoys, many different decoys, right? To help her hide her identity and stuff like that and protect her.
She had no problem with people dying for her. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly, right? So, official rumor, Padme's decoy may have birthed one of Anakin's offspring.
I'm pretty sure Anakin would have known, like, hold on, who's this?
You're not my wife.
Where the hell did that come from?
That's weird.
No,
I can't.
Because they looked like her with like all the makeup and the hair and everything, but they didn't look like her.
No, and also because the only way this works for me is because Anakin destroyed himself, destroyed everyone around him, in the name of love. And if he can't even tell who the hell Padme is from her double, it defeats the story for me. It takes away from it. So no, I don't buy that. Sorry.
You don't buy it at all?
Hell no. Or that, or you're gonna see me cry. Let's not do that. Let's not do that, okay?
Because Padme was away for a while sometimes,
That, and also she had a like kind of closer relationship, friendship thing with one. What is it? What, a senator in the Clone Wars?
Yeah.
At one point, the Anakin just like flipped his shit and almost like just struck him down.
Yeah.
You remember what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I mean, he struck him down like he was about to use the full might of the Force and just to like bleed him dry, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. It's always like, get him, kill him. Sorry.
Let's follow this line of thought, right?
Oh,
let's say Anakin was lonely. He realized that was not Padme, right?
Not buying it, but continue your terrible story.
Yeah. Right? This decoy. They've been together for a while, and they have to pretend
for a while. It wasn't one.
For a
instant.
while. Let's say
Jesus Christ, the consistency on this.
So, could that mean that the Skywalker lineage has not been broken?
I think they already did that with Rey calling
what? Oh,
okay. I see what you're saying.
I was like, what?
Okay. Wait a minute.
I don't think that that's plausible at all.
Mm-hmm.
Taking a step onto your nasty rainbow road, I don't think that's possible at all. I'm choosing not to believe it, but I also don't think it's really entirely possible, because this all hinges on Anakin made these decisions that ended up getting Windu killed, that ended up him killing Jedi and Padawan and younglings himself. On the whole thing was sprung on the idea is I have to be this bad guy. I have to follow Emperor Palpatine because I need the power to save the one I loved. He was prepared to destroy the entire world, the entire galaxy for that matter, so he could continue forward with the love of his life, Padme. This entire story doesn't work if you came and
if he has a side chick.
Yes, it doesn't work if he has a side chick. Okay, now if you had what if series, like what if Anakin did get some strange on the side, that's different. But
oh my god!
But for the purpose of this story, for the purpose of consistency's sake, for the purpose of all this, it just does not work if he even so much as batted an eye at somebody else.
Where'd you even get that from, Lewis?
Yeah, he just making bullshit up.
What if? Oh god!
I made my own what if, right?
I'm getting mildly pissed off, to be honest with you. No.
So one of the last things I have here, and then I don't know if you guys have anything to bring here as well. Like, so we found that Kylo Ren healed Rey, right? In the Rise of Skywalker, and we know that Rey and Kylo Ren had what they call it, a Force dyad, where they were connected to each other. Do you think somehow that with them healing each other that way, using the Force, that somehow Rey right now
got pregnant
with
what do you think these random strangers getting?
And could that be a plot point for episode 10 in the future?
Getting pregnant? Her getting pregnant? Or what? Oh, God.
Through the Force.
Well, I mean, Shmi Skywalker got pregnant, so.
Yeah, but different. That was Palpatine doing his.
Perhaps maybe they got pregnant through the dyad by accident?
I'm starting to really question your character, Lewis.
Oh, my God.
Lewis,
I think
right now, I wouldn't
hate it. I wouldn't hate it, but that's just so weird.
I want to create a meme somehow and superimpose Lewis's face on Oprah. Just start pointing at random people. You're now pregnant. You're now pregnant. You're now pregnant. Everybody's now pregnant.
Okay.
I know it's really out there, but it's just for fun.
Oh, there's out there, and then there's out. You're never coming back.
Outer rim. You want to stay in the inner rim?
I was gonna say that. Yeah, I knew you're gonna go nasty with that one too. So it sounds like Micah likes the inner rim, but the outer rim is where I go.
Oh my goodness!
I just played that.
Well,
hey, stop it.
Well, you guys didn't like my official rumors, so
That's not official rumor. That's official.
That's
bullshit.
just a what if.
Yeah, it's a what.
I still like the Rosario Dawson, Zoe Saldana, Ahsoka
Yeah.
official rumor.
Well, do you guys have anything else for our podcast listeners, viewers, anything like that?
Nope. Do you want to have them make up weird what if situations that we can talk about later?
Absolutely, that'd be good. So you
How's
want
that
to
to
kind
them?
of
It's like an opportunity to do that on Facebook and Twitter, Sarah.
you want to kind of
Okay,
say
Micah.
that, and then when this gets posted, I can just clip it out and
Yeah.
do that.
Okay.
Or-
So message us on Facebook, email theforcechoke@gmail.com.
Any
Yeah.
weird what if situations
We could
questions,
talk about or talk about,
inklings.
yeah, or solidify or vilify for this man, of course.
Other theories
Yeah, that'd be kind of.
about.
I was real quickly though. What's the timeline for the next movie supposed to come out? 2020, was it 2021 or 2022?
I think it's 2021.
22, I think.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I think it's 22.
And the reason I'm asking about that is because everything, like literally everything, is getting pushed back to oblivion right now
Yeah.
because of this pandemic. And I'm just wondering, is this going to have an effect, or is this an easy scapegoat to be like, man, we really want to get a movie out to y'all in 2022, but with everything going on, with all the other projects we have, because we know that they've had problems with, the Game of Thrones guys, Dan and Dave, bidding off and Vice, with them leaving, and with this whole like, we don't want Rian Johnson to be the new face of the new trilogy going forward because of what he did with Episode 8. Like, is this okay to bring it back? Will this pandemic cause this to get pushed back further, or will this be used as justification to push it back further because maybe they still don't know what they're going to do with the next movie going forward? Because we haven't heard anything, just simply that we heard about them wanting to do Knights of the Old Republic, but that's obviously not going to be the new story going forward.
Yeah, I think that's more text-based, right?
Right.
Books, comics.
Right. And then with the comic books themselves for the High Republic,
I think that's on hold right now too.
I'm sure that's on hold, but I don't think that was necessarily going to be a focal point for the movies going forward, or at least
you're right.
that we know of as at the moment. So I'm just curious, because even then, Rian Johnson with everything, as well as Knives Out did, isn't he supposed to be doing a sequel? So who's supposed to be championing this next movie, and does it get pushed back?
You have a point there. Yeah, I don't know. Sarah, do us a favor. Will you get on the line? Get with Kathleen Kennedy.
I will. Yes, I will track her down. I'll be like, I know you're working from home. I'll get on that.
She's gonna answer the phone. She's gonna answer the phone and be like, "Who's this?" And you can be like, "You know who this is, damn it."
I'm all the content. I'm the honorable judge.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
We need to have a debate.
We're really loose with this term "honorable," aren't we?
No, we're not. No, not at all. I'm very honorable.
Maybe Mike and I or whoever's on the podcast next can have a debate on who the greatest Force user of all time is. And then you can be the judge. That'd be fun.
Oh, I'm down.
I don't like those games with you because they're always sidetracking people.
That's fun, man.
Not every time. Has it been every time that I've sided with Lewis?
Yes.
No.
It's hard being the village asshole, this guy right here, because
not if you have a point.
I always
usually
I think I picked you at least once. That's not healthy. No.
Oh my gosh. Well, I guess it's time to wrap it up. Episode 64. No,
5.
65. Yes.
The Force Choke podcast. If you've stuck with us and you want one of our new holographic stickers, or if you want to trade stickers, just touch base with us on Facebook or Instagram. private messages or direct messages, so we can get that out to you.
DM,
But
IM, or PMSS.
PMS, yeah.
Yes.
What?
You said
PMS.
Yeah.
PMS us.
Yes. Gets quite messy, but
Good.
to the point again, sir.
Well, I'm Lewis.
I'm Sarah.
Oh, I'm Micah.
And back there is Lando, right?
No,
Lando.
he's chilling in his kennel now. He's probably pissed off at me. Play with him.
Well, thanks for listening to episode 65 of the Force Choke podcast. Once again, you can find us on all your social medias, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all that great stuff. Make sure to subscribe to us on YouTube. Where else? We're on Spreaker, iHeartRadio. Make sure to leave any comments, questions.
Reviews. You can leave reviews.
Don't leave reviews.
No, we want to leave reviews, even
if you leave a good review, maybe that'll score you a sticker or a shirt in the future or something.
Okay.
That's another wink under the sunglass.
Yeah, absolutely. So,
I do.
For all of us.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh yeah, no, go ahead. What were you gonna say?
I was just saying I do my winks under the sunglasses because apparently I do both eyes and it doesn't make sense.
Right, and we're missing Tim.
Okay. Yeah.
Tim is working right now, so
Timmy.
On behalf of Timmy, make sure you hit his mail slots. We'll
it's a trying time. Trying times. Tim needs.
Yeah, he needs that slot filled.
This has been episode 65 of the Force Choke podcast. Thanks for joining us and listening. We'll talk to you guys next time. Peace out.
Bye.